Dear colleagues, dear guests, in the following I will explain why I'm going away from Toastmasters. To support my decision, I will start with a brief review of Patyways program. This is the flowchart showing the steps of a new member to reach Distinguished Toastmaster. There are 10 interesting paths and you have to choose 2 of them. Each path has 5 levels. The program can be divided in 2 main tracks, leadership and communication. Basically, you have 7 achievements to be fulfilled to reach DTM. In traditional Toastmasters, you have also 2 tracks, leadership and communication. In leadership, there are 3 achievements. In communication, 4, a total of 7. Comparing both programs, we see that they are different but have similarities. For instance, 2 main tracks, 7 achievements to reach DTM, circa the same number of tasks in communication track, and practically the same tasks in leadership track. I have not given details of these 2 last points, but this was part of my research to prepare this presentation. In conclusion, an equivalence would make the transition smoother. Now, I will explain with my Toastmaster path summarized in this slide my situation. I started in March 2018 and I achieved Competent Communicator in October the same year, Advanced Communicator Bronze in November last year, and Competent Leader in February this year. Patyways was rolled out in our club in June 2018, when I was already engaged in the traditional program, which deadline was imposed to be June 2020, just 2 years time to finish traditional Toastmaster program. My pace is 1 achievement each 8 months. I belong to just 1 club. We have 2 meetings per month and sometimes extra miles organized by Lee. It will be impossible to reach DTM in June 2020. Therefore, I had to engage Patyways. My pathway is short. I choose presentation mastery as path, and today, after 3 months, I will reach level 1. Based on this performance, I will need 30 months to conclude 2 paths, and this is just the communication track. I do not feel comfortable with this situation. Indeed, I consider unfair to start Patyways from 0. Then I decided to write to Toastmaster officers, and in my first message, I called the attention that in the book speech contest, there is an equivalence between Advanced Communicator Bronze and 1 path in Toastmasters Patyways. And I required the equivalence of my achievements in the new program. After 1 week, I received the answer. They say that the requirements of DTM are completely different in Patyways and in traditional program. That Patyways has a lot of benefits, and also that the 2 programs are completely different. As you see, there are 3 arguments. But I learned with Schopenhauer the art of answer without addressing the formulated questions. this was the case. Therefore, I replied with a second message, informing, first, that I'm not complaining about the new DTM requirements. Second, that I understand the new features of Patyways. And third, that when they said that the two programs are completely different, there is a contradiction with what is proposed in a speech contest rulebook, where an equivalence between Advanced Communicator Bronze and one path in Toastmaster Pathways is proposed. Therefore, I reinforced my requirement to make the equivalence of Advanced Communicator Bronze plus competent leadership to one path in the new pathway program. After 1 week, I received an answer informing that the 2-year timeline allowed to complete the traditional Toastmaster program before transition to Pathways. The answer comes with a new poor and weak argument. A third message, from my part, I write, the 2-year timeline is absolutely not enough, at least to me, to reach the DTM level. I know colleagues that have done it. Ricardo Silva, he was a superman. He achieved that belonging to 4 clubs, making 3 speeches per week, but I cannot achieve that. Then a third and final Toastmaster reply saying that they understand that they are sorry, traditional excuses. In conclusion, for new members, Pathway will be great, do it. For members already engaged in traditional Toastmasters, the transition to Pathways is unfair. I regret this pitful transition management. I also regret it being accepted so passively by Toastmasters members in similar conditions, by club officers, by district officers, etc. I will not continue. I'm sorry. I'm going away. Thank you for your attention.